Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas triggers, how to plan ahead to help them not happen, and your child, and how to recognize those things and how to prevent them in the future. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I don't even know if you know what Christmas triggers are. I don't even know if I made this up. I should look it up online actually before I make this video, but it's a real thing. I was talking to my husband about it and I'm like, it's a real thing. So stick around for all that. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick shout out to everybody and just do a thank you for everybody that watched us on Keloland this week. I can't even imagine, you guys are so loving and supporting. I didn't even know so many people were that watch Keloland and have been coming up to us and just being thank you for what you're doing and thank you for doing these things and thank you for giving us education and just keep doing it. And that's just so encouraging. Thank you. I feel so humbled by this whole experience. I mean, I'm just a normal person. I work in retail, my husband does too. He's a 7-Up vendor, so we're just normal people, and God is really using us to make an impact in our community. And so I feel so you guys are so kind. So I just want to say thank you to our community for being so kind, and thank you for Kelo for choosing us to have that platform to defend the fatherless. And so thank you for that. That was awesome. So if you haven't seen it, I'll link the video below to our television debut. The best part about this whole experience of being on TV was our children. Our children had really cute reactions. They felt like movie stars. Their teachers really helped them feel that way. A couple of our kids' teachers showed all the kids in the classroom the video of them being on TV and asked for their autograph, which is super cute. They're famous, so it's just so cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for making them feel loved, and thank you for everything. So anyways, let's get into Christmas triggers. I know it's not the happiest subject, but I want to talk about it because it's showed up. It showed up. It's already showing up. I am fully aware of it now. So last Sunday, a couple days ago, I noticed that one of my kids were acting a little weird. They're kind of regressing a little bit, but by regressing I mean they're acting like they did a year ago. When they have a situation, they were doing things, anxious things, throwing themselves down, being a little defiant, just things that they don't do anymore because they've grown past it. We've taught them to grow past it. And so I was and then there's a lot of fidgeting, a lot of just not obeying, and then it just clicked. I'm we just got triggered. It's a Christmas trigger, and it happened last year too. It has to do with a lot of things. Christmas triggers. It's not just one specific thing that happens that will trigger your child into having memories, into having experiences, especially adopted children, kids that were in foster care, kids that had a traumatic experience of losing someone that they loved and they cared about, or being abused, all these things. And so there's some things that can trigger it. And so stimulation, lots and lots of stuff will trigger it. Food, if they're eating food that they're not used to, that could trigger it. A weird schedule, that could trigger it. Your body's feeling weird. A bad sleep habit, that can trigger it. Christmas. Memories coming back, some thoughts of losing a loved one, or memories of a previous foster family that they had, and some good memories. Even if they're good memories, there is some loss there of I'm not around these people anymore. I don't experience these things with these people anymore. And so I'm feeling loss from them not being in my life anymore. And so these are real triggers that my kid is experiencing. So we sat down with them and we talked about it. We talked about BioMom. We talked about previous foster homes. We talked about why are you feeling this way? Why do you treat mommy this way? These things, just reassuring them, we're never going to leave you. We're always with you. Giving them a little bit early bedtime. Not to punish them, but to help them to experience a better Christmas. You're trying to get your children to have better memories, to overcome these things. So you got to give them the tools that they can use to overcome these things in their life, because they're just children. They don't know how. They don't know how to do it, and they shouldn't have to do it. Obviously, they're just children. They shouldn't have to like feel like they have to overcome stuff or be taught that. But like in reality, it's really good for them, and that's what parents should do. I think we should talk more about our emotional needs as well. And so we did that. We laid him in his bed. We prayed for them, and just reassured them that we love them and we care about them. And then the next day, there was some more, there's some more fidgeting, there's some more things happening. And then we just, another round of reassuring. It's getting a little less every day, but I know from last year, our experience with this particular child it's not good. So like I know about triggers. I even did a whole video about it last year. Foster care and Christmas. I did it. I'll link it below actually. And like what to look for and what to think about, and like children, they miss their biological families, like all these things which are true, and like we need to be sensitive to those things. But last year at Christmas, at the very end of it, we were traveling, we were about ready to go home, and this child just ran away. Just took off running out the door, and they were mad. They were just mad and emotional and frustrated for all these reasons, triggers, for things that they can't control and things that they can't fully process. So they do things that they can only feel like is natural, is run away. Run away from them. Run away from these problems. Run away from these feelings. Run away from these people that care about me, because who knows how long they're going to care about me. Who knows when they're going to leave. So these are like, I'm not saying it's a justified behavior to run away. It was very frustrating to run. We live in a very cold climate. It was like sub-zero weather, negatives, and he didn't have shoes on. Like we had to run after them. But we got him back. We sat in the car together. Everybody crying, like just sad. It's very sad. Frustrated, mixture of emotions. And I talked to them, and towards the end of the conversation, this child apologizes to every single person in our car for running from them. And every person in the car, it started with the children, were so sweet. They're like, it's okay, we forgive you. Instantly, like, it's okay, we forgive you. It's okay, we forgive you. We love you. We care about you. We forgive you. And so, like, I just think that that's, like, a really good picture of what to do with somebody when they're experiencing these triggers. What to do with a child when they're experiencing triggers. It's not just a behavior, whereas behaviors should be dealt with. I totally agree. I'm a parent, like, that is really strongly, like, into discipline. And, like, I'm not, like, a laid-back parent. I'm not. Like, I wish I was. I wish I had more patience with my children. I wish I was that person, but I'm not. It's not my gifting. Praying for it, asking God every day to give me patience, but I'm really into discipline. But in these moments, like, grace. Grace, grace, grace. Grace for these children that are suffering from trauma and from these terrible, terrible triggers that's causing them to have a behavior. The behavior is just showing what's inside, revealing what's going on in the inside of them. So we got to ask ourselves, we got to use, like, we got to pray, we got to use our brains, we got to think beyond, like, the physical outside appearance of what's going on, and ask God and ask ourselves, like, what's going on with this child? How can I help them? What do they need? They need safety. They need love. They need unconditional love. They need forgiveness. They might need a little bit more boundaries. Every single time it's different. And so anyways, how can we plan ahead for these triggers? Let's talk about some ways that we can plan ahead for these triggers. First of all, we talked about it, sleep. Make sure your child's getting enough sleep. Make sure you're getting enough sleep so that when you are in those moments, you know what is going on. You're not in a daze as well. You don't snap at them. It just makes things a little bit worse. Sleep's really important. Spiritual awareness. Make sure you're praying. Make sure you're reading your Bible if you're a Christian. Make sure you're spiritually in tune with God so that you can hear his voice when you need it the most, when when they run away, you know, like when something crazy happens, when they're overstimulated because they opened 10,000 presents and they never had presents their whole life and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with these feelings of being loved and being cared for. Like, you need to be praying. Some other things to do is to watch their food, like watch their food intake. Make sure they're eating healthy food. Make sure they are, you know, just really nourishing their body. Speaking of nourishment, exercise, send them outside. They need sunlight. Christmas time is a dark time. Physically, it's a dark time. It's the winter solstice, you know, like it's dark. It's the shortest day of the year is December 21st. And so make sure they go outside. Make sure they have enough sunlight. It's like natural vitamins. Give them some vitamins. Make sure that you're having one-on-one conversation with your child every day during their Christmas break so that they know that you're with them, that you're caring about them. Actually, you should do this every single day with kids, especially if they're in foster care, but probably all your children. Like, it doesn't matter. You should have one-on-one, at least 5 minutes of direct conversation with them a day, or direct snuggle buggling a day, that's what we call it at our house, or reading with them, something that you can really like either touch each other with or have some sort of contact that they know you're here, you're not going anywhere, that you're safe. I know that's not always possible with schedules and stuff, but like it could, 5 minutes isn't very long, so we can do that. And so it's like a huge priority in my life. I try to schedule my life around those five minutes with my children, and it really does help. It really helps these Christmas triggers, and it helps all sorts of different things. And so yeah, and also like plan out like how much stimulation they're getting. Like maybe you need to turn off the TV for a little bit, because they did just open 100 presents, and they did just do this. Like, you just got to be really, really aware. You can't just go through the motions. I know you're going to be with your family and all these things, but you got to like really be aware of your children and make sure that they're okay, because they're really important, and they need to know that you're on board with them and that they're going to be okay as well. So yeah, so those are Christmas triggers. I think it's not just for children as well. I think it's for adults as well. I've noticed this year, I work in retail. It's hard on people that work in retail, and I just see a load of people, customers. I see people that I work with, and sometimes Christmas is a sad time for some people. There might be someone that they love that just passed away, or has passed away in years past around Christmas time. Or they might have loved ones or children that live far away. Those are really sad experiences. They can make you feel really lonely. And so Christmas isn't necessarily like the happiest time for every person. I love Christmas and I like adore it, but like it's not necessarily that way for everyone. And so there's like higher stakes with Christmas. I don't know if you understand that. Like they're just like, there's like this huge expectation that like this needs to be awesome, this needs to be fun, this is a special family time, this is all about giving, you know, like it's all about the gifts, you know. So like everyone has different expectations for Christmas and the holiday and how they want it to go, and so easily it can kind of spin out of control and get really, really bad. And so people can experience severe loneliness during the holidays, so be aware of that. Have grace for people. If someone's grumpy to me at work during Christmas holiday, I'm like, yeah, they're just being triggered, you know, like they're having a hard day, they're tired, they're spending too much money, all these things. And so just have grace for people around you in your life. Be aware, be attentive, be present. You can be an excellent human being, an excellent gift to the earth if you do these things. And so yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you guys have the best day ever, and a happy Merry Christmas to everybody. Anyways, let me know what your Christmas triggers is. Put it in the comments below. Tell me if this is true. Tell me if it's not true. Maybe you're like, I never experience any triggers ever. Like, my kids never do this. I mean, there's a few of my kids I would say don't necessarily experience triggers, but it's not the same for everyone. Whereas one child would freak out, the other one might internally do it. And like, I have one child that like breaks out in hives, and he never expresses it on the outside. So you just gotta like really know your kids. It's so important. So anyways, have the best day ever, and a Merry Christmas to everyone, and I'll see you next time. I'm hoping to do a little Christmas video coming up, another one, but if I don't, I'll see you guys in January. Bye!